Hey, this is copywriter Casey Demchek, and today we're going to jump right back into a topic I covered a week ago, which is mistakes you don't want to make when you're writing your book marketing copy. Now, in my last video, which you can watch after this one, I talked about some kind of high-level general mistakes that some sort of kind of overall writing strategy mistakes you don't want to make when you're writing your book marketing copy. In this video, in this training, I'm going to talk a little more specifically about some headline and body copywriting mistakes that you definitely don't want to make when you're writing your book marketing copy. So to do that, we're going to jump right to my example board here. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we go at the old example board. And again, just a quick reminder, when I make these videos for you and give you a bunch of insights and tips about how to write strong book marketing copy, it's based on me writing marketing copy for close to 200 authors. I've written marketing copy for about 39 books that have become Amazon bestsellers. These are just a few of the books for which I've written book marketing copy. There's a bunch more, but I just wanted to give you a quick little snapshot. But now let's jump right into 4 more book marketing copy mistakes that you definitely want to avoid. First one, I see this a lot. Authors will, when they write their own marketing copy, they try to get too razzy-jazzy with their headlines. And when they need to write a headline for either the back cover, website sales page, e-blast, they try to get too Madison Avenue consumer advertising-ish. They think their job is to entertain readers. The goal of a headline is to grab the attention of your reader and try to drive them into your body copy to find out more. And to do that, you don't need to write a real witty headline. Sometimes something very simple and straightforward will do the trick. And I want to give you an example. Years ago, I was working with a coach who had put together some marketing materials for a book he had written on how to educate troubled teens. And each chapter kind of covered different topics, and he wanted to sell this book to educators in school districts. So that was his target market. And for one of the lessons he was going to teach, he came up with a headline, the one about how to teach troubled teens about money. He came up with a headline for his marketing materials that said, "Dollars and cents, one doesn't come with the other." Hey, witty, I get it. Very clever. He loved it. He goes, write some good copy, but don't touch that headline. I love it. And I said, let's think about that headline, because it's a witty statement, but does it really grab people and make them want to know more? Or are you just kind of giving them a witty statement? So I looked at his material and realized he had organized he had basically 7 things he wanted to teach troubled teens. So I said to him, what about a headline more like 7 things every high school kid should know about money? And I explained to him, your audience is educators in high school. They may read that. They're going to think, well, gee, what are those 7 things? And you're also telling them that the information you're about to present is organized in 7 chunks or 7 things. So they know that information is going to be presented to them in an orderly way. So he thought about it, and I explained to him, we want to get their attention and drive them into the copy. We don't want to necessarily entertain them, or at least we're not obligated to. If we can, great, but we don't have to. So a long story short, he agreed that the second, the headline I came up with, 7 things every high school kid should know about money, would probably be more effective than just making the witty statement, dollars and cents, one doesn't come with the other. So that's what we ended up going with. He had a good result, and it worked out well. And as you can see, that 7 things you should know, or every kid should know type of headline, much easier to come up with than something that's overly clever and witty. So don't think you have to entertain people with your headlines. Come up with something simple that gets their attention, drives them into your body copy, and you've reached your goal of what a headline's for. Okay, mistake number 2. I see when authors write their marketing copy, they'll write long-winded sentences with too much punctuation. That can work on the inside of the book, but it doesn't work with marketing copy. People tend to skim marketing copy or read it quickly. And there's a lot of studies that show when people read marketing copy, their eyes are looking for the sentence. So if you make a sentence way too long, people will maybe read the first half of it, and then their eyes quickly dart to the period and they start the next sentence. And if you think about it, a lot of us read marketing copy that way. Let me give you an example. Look at this, you want to go less like the first example here. Let me read this real quick. Loving Heart, Quiet Mind, Healthy Body is a refreshing book that will transform your body and elevate your life because it's a quick, inspiring, and fun read that provides you with healthy, simple ways to recognize that you possess unlimited inner and outer beauty. Now, there's a lot of good points in there, but that's a very long sentence, and people might not read the whole thing. You can basically say the same thing in two shorter sentences, as I do in the second example. Loving Heart, Quiet Mind, Healthy Body is a refreshing book that will transform your body and elevate your life, period. It's a quick, inspiring read that helps you recognize the inner and outer beauty you possess, period. Basically says the same thing, but in two concise sentences rather than one really long kind of a flowery sentence. So go with shorter sentences because, again, people tend to skim your copy and their eyes are looking for periods. So keep that in mind and try to organize your thoughts in a pretty concise way when you're writing your body copy. Okay, a little break from the mistakes. And hey, I love making these free videos for you every week and giving you these little teaching lessons. You can get more free stuff from me. You can go to my website at caseydemchak.com/secrets and download my free ebook, 7 Must-Know Copywriting Secrets That Sell More Books. I also have a link to that right below in the YouTube video description. So go down there and click that link, download that ebook. There's a lot of cool stuff in there that'll really help you out. I really suggest when you're writing your book marketing copy, having a copy of this ebook within arm's reach at all times. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there, and I definitely think it'll come in handy for you. So back to the mistakes. Mistake number 3 that you don't want to make. You don't want to have body copy paragraphs that are too long and lack open space. Here's what I mean. This is from a book I worked on, a best-selling book called You, the Divine Genius. Now, if you see a paragraph like this inside of the book you're reading, you think, well, your mind's conditioned to read paragraphs inside of a book. So if you see a paragraph that looks like this, you're going to read it because you're reading a book. But when it comes to marketing copy, a lot of people will see just kind of a chunky looking paragraph like this, and their eyes will think, oh, or the mind will think that's going to take a while to read. I don't want to read it. And they'll skim it at best, maybe even skip it. So you always want your body copy in your e-blast, back cover copy, website sales pages, Amazon descriptions. You want them to look more like this. Lots of open space, headline, benefit-driven bullet points, paragraphs that are maybe 1 sentence long. This is very friendly on the eye. So if people are looking at body copy, they're more apt to stop, look at this and say, that looks quick and easy to read. So I'll go ahead and read it, as opposed to it looking like this. Now this and this word for word are the exact same copy. This copy went real well for us on this particular book. But as you can see, so if you think this is good copy, you have to agree this is good copy, but this one is less likely to be read because of the way it looks. So it's not enough just to write good marketing copy. You have to present the copy in a way that's inviting to the eye to get people to read it. I think we'd all agree that people are less likely to read this than they are this, simply because of the way it's presented. Kind of like in a fine dining restaurant. They just don't throw the food on the plate. The chef goes through a lot of trouble to make it look good. I know I used to work in a fine dining restaurant years ago in Los Angeles. I was a waiter, and the chefs would always make the plate, garnishes and all that. And they wanted you to place it in front of people just a particular way to make it look good. Same thing when you're presenting your body copy. You want to make it look good. Mistake number 4 I see is leaving out a juicy PS line when authors are writing e-blast, website sales pages, sales sheets. A lot of studies show that if you use a PS line, people's eyes will gravitate to PS lines and they will read them. And I think it goes back to when we were kids and we used to pass notes back and forth. There was always something juicy in the PS line. That's where you would find something like, Billy has a big crush on Carolyn, but don't tell her. Something like that. There was always something juicy in the PS line. So whenever you see a PS line, people's eyes gravitate to them because their mind's saying to them, there's something, I know there's nothing boring in there. There's something cool in there. So get in the habit of writing PS lines. Take advantage of the fact that people like to read them when you're writing, again, e-blast, website sales pages, and other marketing materials for your book. Here's some examples of the kind of stuff you can put in a PS line. It's a great place to put offers for special bonuses you're giving away with your book. Example, order today to receive our free ebook, 7 Steps to Doubling Your Leads in 60 Days or Less. The second PS one, I love this little technique. Chapter 4 of my book reveals 7 daily habits to create a wealth generating mindset. You may want to read this chapter first. You know, if you can tell somebody in the PS line, hey, in this particular part of the book, I got something really special for you, you may want to jump to that right away. That creates some anticipation and excitement. So that's a cool thing to put in a PS line. And then again, the third example, buy by midnight tonight to receive instant access to 100 additional photos not included in the hard copy of the most dangerous places on earth. So you can use that PS line to tout bonuses, special places in your book that you want people to go to, or maybe you have a real tentpole benefit or principle that your book is built around. You can reiterate that in your PS line. Bottom line, take example of PS lines. People tend to read them, so include them in your book marketing materials. Okay, a little summary of mistakes you want to you want to avoid making when you're writing your book marketing copy. You want to avoid writing headlines designed to entertain. Now, if you can write a headline that really grabs people and motivates them to go into your body copy and it's entertaining, great. But don't rack your brain trying to come up with some witty, clever statement when something very simple will do. Again, the goal is to get the attention of people, drive them into the body copy. You can do that with a very simple headline. Again, avoid having long sentences that have too much punctuation. People's eyes tend to skim towards the period, so make your sentences shorter so that people actually read everything you write. And again, you don't want to have body copy paragraphs that are too long, or too chunky looking. You want to create a lot of open space, use bullet points, headlines, subheads, make your copy very inviting to the eye. And then, as I just illustrated, don't leave out juicy PS lines. People love PS lines. So go ahead and put them into your book marketing copy, and you'll get a lot more eyeballs on your copy. And when you do that, of course, you sell more books. So those are some big mistakes you want to avoid. And I encourage you to check out the video that I recorded last week on some other mistakes you want to avoid. And again, I hope these tips have been really helpful for you. I think if you follow through on these tips, it's really going to help you write better book marketing copy. So next step, I got other videos for you over here to watch. I'd invite you to check those out, watch them, soak up the knowledge, and then take a lot of action and make things happen.